Chantelle, thanks for joining me today. Why don't you tell me a little bit about who you are and what you're all about?
Yeah, thank you for having me, Ricky. Well, I feel like we've known each other a long time. Like, what is it? Like, since I was like 14 now?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Been a while. A bit about me. Well, I run a social media marketing company called Amore Media, which means love. And before that, I used to do personal training and sports nutrition. So that's very much like passion. My background is health and fitness, and now I do social media marketing, and I do mainly ads management and the social media like content creation.
Yep.
Yeah, for me, I'm all about family, health, fitness, care about the people in my circle, and if you're in my circle, I make sure you're someone that is like that positive influence. I don't like to surround myself, because I'm very like, they are your influence, and I have different friends for different reasons, but the people around me give me different things, and I'm like, they inspire me, or they're friends. I'm friends with them for different sorts of reasons. So that's very much me: family, friends, fitness, health, and marketing. That sums me up.
No,
what about yourself, Ricky? What do you do?
Yeah, so I do online coaching, as you know, and also in a media business. The online coaching specifically to help individuals master their mind and break free from like self-destructive and self-sabotaging patterns and cycles. That's something I've been doing for close to, I think it's been about 6 years now. And then the media side of things, I've had a media business for about 10 years now, which is mainly like event photo, event video, and also now tapping into the social media sort of stuff for businesses as well. And just like you, I'm all about fitness, all about all that sort of stuff, training, nutrition, health, just in general, becoming the best version of me. Yeah,
we have a very similar mindset, I think, in regards to like most things. We're very on par with that. With how do you feel, what are the issues, the biggest issues, I guess, men and women are facing? Because you mentioned your coaching. What are the struggles, and what are you seeing come up time and time again? Yeah,
well, I think, like, this is what I always say. When someone wants to become like a better version of themselves, yes, you can add things in. Like, the first thing people always think about, I'm becoming better, I'm going to start doing ice baths. And it's like, cool, that stuff, it has its place, whatever. But it's more so about removing the toxins and the poisons first. And I'm not saying in the sense of like a health perspective, but from the sense of the things that are holding you back, which, you know, in the sort of cases that I've seen a lot, it's porn, drinking, drugs, gambling, fucking gaming even, smoking, just the stuff that's like distracting people, that's stealing their dopamine, instant gratification, a lot of that, like the self-destructive habits. And then also on the other side of that, which is like the other part of my coaching, which is self-sabotage patterns. Things like self-doubt, low levels of self-worth, not feeling like, you know, you can do this, not feeling like you're worthy of that. Like, there's the external element of like those self-destructive habits, but then there's also the internal world and the self-sabotage patterns. And I think those combined very much so hold so many people back, and that's what I focus on specifically.
There's like the habits that people have, like especially when they're like, oh, what I can't stand is when people, it's all that internal monologue, right? I can't, I won't, it's excuse after excuse, reason on why not. What about reasons why you can?
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
What about like finding ways around things? And like, for example, oh, I can't do this because of that. Well, everything in life is a skill. How about even if you can't do that, find someone who can?
Yeah.
It's that internal monologue because so many people have such a negative internal monologue, which then reflects, your internal monologue creates your external reality.
Absolutely.
And I'm very big on that. And people who tell themselves, I can't do this, I can't do that, negative, I don't look good today, this, that's gonna reflect on the external world. If you have a constant positive monologue, and you're not gonna be perfect every day, but if you try to have that constant, it's that growth mindset, right?
Yeah,
rather than having that fixed mindset. That, to me, I see it time and time again, and that's why people don't move forward and they stay stuck in the I can't rather than the I can, which is so important. Like, I was walking with two of my friends. It's a perfect example. We were like headed to the beach, and we were at a beach which had like mainly all tourists, and women like bodies are amazing, right?
Yeah.
And they were walking away talking so negatively about themselves they were like girl positive on like, oh my God, these chicks look amazing.
Yeah.
But they were walking away saying, oh, I feel so ugly and blah, blah. I said, no, you don't. I'm like, tell yourself you look sexy. Tell yourself you're confident. I'm like, the internal monologue is so important. You walk away saying that, that's what you're going to feel and that's what you're going to reflect.
Absolutely, yeah. Word, like, thoughts become things, and words are like literally when you're, they say spelling, and when you speak, it summons things, right? You create and manifest your reality through that. I think a lot of people have this internal negative dialogue or monologue, whatever you want to refer to it as. And, the thing is, yes, it's a thing of thinking positive, but it's also a thing of understanding that everyone, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, no matter what echelon of life you're living in, we are all going to experience negative inner talk, but it's just a degree of, can you observe that internal world? Can you look at that thought, look at that internal narrative and not instill belief in it? Can you just look at it and say, that's interesting, and just view it from a neutral perspective instead of saying, oh my God, that's me, attaching to it, giving it so much power and then making it become your reality?
Because everyone has, we're not all perfect every day.
Yeah.
Like, I have my days where I have those negative thoughts, but it's how I react to them or how I shut them down that create a better external world.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And not only, that doesn't just reflect in my world, that reflects in everyone else, because then I'm able to identify when they're doing it to themselves now, and I go, hey, hold on. I'm like, how about we switch that and we switch it into a positive thought?
Definitely, yeah. I literally, how long ago now? 5 days ago, I started writing my first book, and the book is, it's all about this sort of stuff, like awareness, self-realization, going beyond the mind, transcending the internal narratives. I think, when we talk about mindset, which is, don't get me wrong, I love the topic of mindset and improving the mind, but I also like to approach it from a perspective of, hey, instead of having to focus so much on thinking positive in X, Y, Z, what if we tapped into and understood what we were beyond the mind completely, right? Because the reality is, we're not our thoughts, we're not our emotions, we're not these phenomena that appear within the internal world. We are that in which is aware of them. And I think when people can establish that healthy level of space from the thoughts, from the emotions, they have a lot more power over them, and they don't have to become them, right? Because if we use the analogy of the sky and the clouds, right? You've got this open blue sky, right? Beautiful. A cloud comes in. Let's say the cloud symbolizes a negative thought. Negative thought.
You sound like a psychologist right now. That's like a psychology 101. Dark cloud, white cloud.
And then the cloud comes in and this symbolizes a negative thought. If we just allow ourselves to view that cloud or view that thought, allow it to be there, don't judge it, don't resist it, don't attach to it, anything like that, it's going to be able to observe it and it's going to pass. But where people go wrong, and the major hindrance I see in terms of preventing someone from actually attaining and maintaining inner peace, is they see that thought to be them and they instill belief in it. Thought comes up, the cloud comes in, oh my God, that's me, I look terrible in a bikini, whatever the narrative is for a woman, hopefully that is not a man, anyway. And then they think that, oh my God, and then they become it, and then they speak it, and then it's their reality. But if they're able to just observe it from a neutral perspective, just note it, just so like, that's interesting, I don't choose to entertain that or become that thought, and it doesn't hold any power over you. And then you can, if you want, you can create a counter narrative. You can literally say it out loud, which is, let's say the thought is, oh, I look terrible today. Create a counter narrative. I look amazing today. Just boom. It's like a little mindfulness practice.
And people think affirmations are, they dismiss them, right? As what are they? Just woohoo. Yeah, that sort of stuff. But it's like, it doesn't have to be this thing where you stand there every day and you're like, oh, I'm going to say all my affirmations and then it's going to transform my life. It's just reshifting each thought, and it's a practice and it's a skill, and it takes time. If you are in a fixed mindset, if you are constantly negative, it's just awareness about that, and then saying those affirmations. But it doesn't have to be every morning you get up and you say your 10 affirmations. It can just be catching yourself in the moment and reshifting that sentence
definitely
into something positive.
And with the affirmations too, it's like, People who sort of speak against them are just, you know, respectfully, they don't understand the mind properly. Like, we have...
Respectfully, you're wrong.
Yeah, honestly, like, because the mind is, you know, comprised of all different sections or whatever, but let's speak specifically on the subconscious mind, which is an element which controls a major portion of our reality. And the subconscious mind is conditioned, either consciously or unconsciously. So...
And some people have so much, like, even trauma and past things in that subconscious mind, which they're even so unaware about, which is basically impacting everything in their life
Literally
without
everything.
even potentially realising it, right?
The subconscious mind is the filter in which you see and experience the world. So, you know, people say, oh, you know, there's no point affirming these things, you know, whatever. It's like, bro, whether you like to believe it or not, you are being conditioned. Every time you turn on the radio, every time you read a book, every time you have a conversation, the subconscious mind is absorbing.
Every time you watch the news, it's all, the news is all negative,
That's right.
negative. And if then your social media feed is negative, or it's women in bikinis or men who look like bodybuilders, and or they're on holidays, it's all a highlight reel. Like, as much as I do social media and love it, I'm also so aware of the negatives about it. Like, you know, we're constantly getting flooded with dopamine, serotonin. We're constantly, it's the comparative of everything that we're seeing on the internet, and that's flooding into our brains, and we wonder why you feel bad.
Yeah, like, 100%. It's, you know what, so on that note, like, social media is I'll wrap up with the subconscious mind thing. Like, we are always being conditioned, so you need to create, like, counter conditioning, and you need to take control of that conditioning. Condition yourself for success, for happiness, for love, etc. With the social media thing, it is definitely a highlight reel. Obviously, you're in the social media game, I'm in the social media game, and I also am building a personal brand. What I try and do on social media is I try and be as authentic as possible, right?
Yeah.
I think people are sick to fucking death of fake bullshit. Like, honestly,
I agree.
There's so much, like, facades and fronts, and it's like, bro, you don't own that car, that's rented, you know, you just stop bullshitting with this, stop making up lies. Like, people want realness.
When they flex on social media, I'm like, okay, red flag, because, like, real people with real wealth don't flash everything, right? Like, it's just, the reality of it isn't actually that. If you feel the need to flash and showcase and be a show pony, it's like, well, why? Yeah. It's not always a bad thing. And there's, to a degree, where you can showcase your success and it's not a bad thing, but sometimes it's always like, I'm like, what's actually happening here? You have to read between the lines a little bit. Yeah.
And I think people want to connect with others more than ever. Like, social media is obviously designed to connect, but it seems to disconnect. So,
at the same time, yeah.
So when people, like, are watching content and stuff, like, I make all sorts of content, but if I, like, am struggling with something or whatever, I'll make a video on that too. I'm not just making videos on the wins. Like, I don't know, maybe you didn't see the video, but I made a video on a book I'm writing. You know, I mentioned it before, and I said, like, the first thing I opened up, I said, first thing I realized about writing a book, I don't know how to write a book. Like, you know, I'm not going to front like I'm this awesome author already. No, I do not know how to write a book, but I'm learning. And I think that authentic piece is lacking massively. People want to be seen as the champion, the winner, this already. It's like, you need to embrace the process, because it's not your authentic truth.
And a lot of people don't want to embrace the process or understand. Like, for example, me and you both run businesses. It is a process and a half, right? Like, if you're listening and you run a business, you understand exactly what we're talking about. If you don't, you won't. But running a business, like, when you start a business, you're like, oh yeah, it sounds great. And then you start the business and you're like, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this system, I need this process, and now this has gone wrong, and now there's just so many things. And, like, I'm a person, I thrive off of that. I love the challenges and constantly overcoming those challenges. Like, something that I preach is there's always a solution to a problem. So when a problem arises, solution-based mindset. There is a solution to the problem.
For sure.
I love when a challenge or something comes in front of me, because, like, okay, awesome, how do I solve this problem? I'm straight onto, okay, these are my solutions, or how can I approach it with this? It's all that critical thinking skill and that problem solving skill to get to end result. So it's never, people see a challenge or a problem arise and they freak out. They don't know how to react. Whereas, again, it's the mindset behind it. Okay, here's a problem, solution. Because at the end of the day, there's always going to be problems and challenges in life. Again, how do you react to that? Do you go, oh, this is a problem, play victim, my life is terrible because I have XYZ problem? Well, find a solution.
That's right.
That solution might be walking away. That solution might be calling a friend. That solution might be research. That solution might be there's always a solution. And if there's not a solution, then you just have to learn to live with it, right? Like that's the reality of a problem or a challenge in front of you.
Yeah, definitely. There's no point ruminating on something and spending all this time complaining in this victim mentality when it's like, bro, all this time that you spent complaining, you could have fixed the problem 10 times.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think the longer you leave a problem, the more you pedestal it in your mind. It's like, oh, it's so hard. It's like, it's actually not that hard. It's just 20 minutes of focused attention.
Yeah, exactly.
You know who you remind me a lot of when you're going on about like the critical thinking and problem and solution. You know, Layla Hormozi?
Yeah.
You remind me very much like her. Yeah.
I love Layla Hormozi and Alex.
She's very much like straight to the point, problem, no bullshit, solution.
Because I watched this video, don't quote me exactly on her words, but a video she posted the other day was about people who, it's about business, but she was saying like, because I very much have learnt this in the past year in my business, I now have a team of 4 underneath me. Because I used to try and do everything myself because I wanted to make the most amount of money in the business and not give it away. The minute I actually was like, I can spend my time doing other things, like being on a Thursday doing a podcast, which is going to add more value and get me further with more opportunities than sitting at home doing all the editing.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So I hired 4 people to do different things. Yes, my business can afford it. Yes, I'd be more profitable if I didn't do it. But in order to get ahead, that's what I have to do. And her whole video was about, hire the PA or hire the person before you can afford them, because that's what's going to allow you to do. Instead of spending time on the $10, $100 an hour job, it's going to allow you to be in rooms or positions where you can be doing $1,000 hour jobs.
Yeah, sure.
So it's just about maximizing your time, but also maximizing the opportunity.
Yeah, and you need
the growth.
Yeah, you need to leverage and use delegation, right? Without it, you're literally like, as you said, you're stuck doing this shit that you shouldn't be doing, realistically.
Yeah, honestly.
And in terms of like that too, there's a great book. It's called 2 books actually, sort of a combination of the 2. One is Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant, great book. And then The E-Myth, Revisited. Both these books sort of point to the power of delegation, and they say like, we all start, when we start a business, we are the sole service provider, we are the customer relations person, we are the marketer, we are everything. We have 1,000 hats. But you need to eventually get to a point where you aren't the servicer, you are the business owner. When someone says, I own a business, it's like, do you own a business or do you just own a job, right? Because realistically, if your business, and this is a quote out of Rich Dad Poor Dad, if your business can't operate without you present, you don't have a business, you have a job.
Exactly.
Right? A business is a system. It's a set of systems within systems, right?
And CEOs and massive companies and successful entrepreneurs understand this to a T.
Yeah.
Like, exactly right, if you have to be working in your business 40 hours a week, like, I'd rather run my own business and work in it 40 hours a week than work for someone else. I understand that aspect, but also at the same time is the whole point in running a business is flexibility and being able to, for example, if you have kids, be able to spend more time with your kids, or, because where that boils down to? That boils down to time and financial freedom, because time is more valuable than money.
Yeah.
And people think that money is a goal. It's like, no. Money is a goal, which is a tool that buys me back time.
Yeah.
Like, why do you think rich people, they hire a cleaner? They could clean the house themselves because they have time, but they understand that buys them back more time to then spend more time with their kids, or spend more time at Pilates, or spend more time looking after themselves.
Yeah.
And at the same time, that cleaner is getting paid to then afford to feed their family.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
it's a cycle. And I think people get so hung up with money, and they say money doesn't buy happiness, but I think it does. To be honest, in a sense of buys freedom, which it buys. If your child's sick, you can afford it. You can afford dentist appointments. You can afford to look after yourself more by going to Pilates and paying medical bills. And money is a tool, and money. Even in the Bible, it doesn't say money is evil either. It says money is a tool to be used, basically.
Yeah, if you have, a lot of people have a real negative relationship towards money. They honestly see it as like shameful or fucking, like dirty, etc. If you have a relationship towards money, which is you see money as evil or bad or this or that, you will never get money. Yeah. Honestly, you'll block this is a self-sabotage pattern. This is what I'm talking about. How you perceive money, how you approach money, etc. Like, the whole shame around money is why people stay broke. It's the thing of, someone starts a business and then they start charging for a product. Some people get upset about that. Oh, look at this, greedy. It's like, tell me what is actually greedy? If you're scamming people, sure, you're a fuckwit. That's
there's a
different
line,
ballgame, right?
Yeah.
But if you're providing a service, some degree of value to society, and in exchange for that, you're receiving monetary gain, money, what is bad about that? It's like, if you have, this is a good sales thing, but if you have $5, you're super thirsty, let's say you don't have a water there, you're super thirsty, you want the value I have, I want the monetary gain you have, if we swap these things, you're happy, I'm happy, what's bad about that? Nothing.
Money just the biggest thing I've learned with money is letting go the attachment of it.
Yeah.
The minute I was like, I actually don't care about it, and like, I will spend it with no attachment to it.
Yeah.
I don't have any attachment to money, which is why money flows back towards me.
Yeah.
Money is just like energy.
Yeah,
it flows out
is.
and it flows in. And the minute people try and, I think, grip onto money, I don't want to spend it, I don't want to let it go. Okay, there's a degree where you need to be responsible with money, yes, but people grip onto it and stingy, but in certain circumstances they kind of have to be. But people who hold this scarcity around money, then I see those people struggle the most with the money flowing back.
Yeah, sure.
There's me, I just spend it and let it go, and then it always comes back tenfold.
It is literally an energy.
It is energy.
I think too, money is, this is my whole thing. If people focus on money, if your goal, your sole outcome is to earn money, yes, you'll probably earn it, but you're not going to earn as much as you would if you were focusing on a different thing, which is providing value.
Exactly.
I made a shift a few years ago, which is like, when I wake up in the morning, I'm not thinking, how can I make money? It's how can I provide value? And in my experience, when I am focused on providing value to society in whatever form, in the form of, helping someone through a specific addiction, helping someone through this, or providing a service with my media business, whatever it is, the value that I give to society, if I've got all this value and I'm giving it to society, naturally they want to say, hey, here's some money for your value. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Because people see that, I guess. People see, they feel like I give without the expectation of things being given back, right? And I feel like that exchange again, I'm providing value to you, but I don't expect anything back from you. Naturally, whether it's energy, whether it's like people gravitate towards that and reciprocation, like karma, I'll call it, whatever, but it always will come back. And I guess it's being a nice person's one thing, but just, I think it's having the comprehension and understanding of that. I mean, it works out for me and you, so why can't it work out for the next person,
absolutely.
right? Like,
I think in terms of, me and you, I would classify us entrepreneurial, right? We have businesses, we're sort of in the market of freelancing in a sense, we've got teams under us, all this sort of thing. And I think that when you shift your perception on money, right, it's less about, I need to trade time for money. That's because that's the initial employee mindset, right? How many, like when people think about money, if you get the average or everyday person in here and you say, you need to make, you've got 1 month, you need to make $2,000, otherwise this happens. Straight away their mind goes to a place of how many hours can I work, right? Whereas you get an employee in here and you say you need to make $2,000, you've got 1 month, how can you do it? An entrepreneur's mind is going to go to the place of what value can I provide? How can I create this? How to literally go? How can I create the value? How am I going to market that value? Then how am I going to sell that value? Right? There's a great quote by, I'm going to mess up his last name. It's so hard. It's an Indian last name, Naval Ravnakant or something. But his quote is really powerful, and I truly believe it. He says, if you can learn how to build, if you can learn how to market, you can learn how to sell, you'll never be broke again.
That's true. I learned one of my jobs, I used to sales for membership sales in the gym, and that was the best job I ever did. It taught me so much about different types of people as well, because it's all then I started looking into like psychology and people, and through my own experience of learning to work, like having to sell memberships to different types of people, the way body language, eye contact, physical touch, all of these things can make someone really comfortable with you straight away.
Oh, for sure.
So, like,
rapport,
for example,
building rapport.
Yeah, so being an example, if I shake your hand initially, that's an initial touch, it's human connection. A small thing like that can make someone feel instantly, automatically connected with you.
100%.
And then there might be, and assessing some, I guess it's people skills and social skills, right? But if someone's more dominant, and they come to me and I'm trying to sell them membership, I kind of match that energy.
Yeah.
If I'm too soft and they're overpowered, like they're more dominant than me, then it can be uneven, right? And I might not get the sale. If they're a softer person, I'm not going to come in harsh and dominant. I'm going to come in at a softer level. But it's understanding who, like the different types of people in psychology. And like you said, the skill of sales, that skill that I learned there has reflected in so much of the rest of my entrepreneurial journey and life in general.
Definitely.
So sales I think is really important. If people can learn sales and how to sell themselves. I see it with so many coaches and personal trainers who don't know how to do sales. They struggle, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a major part, like understanding human nature in the sales process. Little things, like as you mentioned, it's things that we don't really pick up on consciously. But even like, think of it right now, right? We're having a conversation. If my tonality or more so my pace of talking was, if I was like and I was super quick, and you'd be like, what the fuck? Like you wouldn't feel as connected. Or if I was doing these things which we refer to in NLP as pattern interrupts. So if you were talking to me, like just like naturally we won't even play that because it's real disrespectful. But if you were talking to me and I was like, you'd be like, fuck this guy, bro.
It would be, I feel the energy,
interrupts
right?
you, and you're like, this guy doesn't, you don't feel seen, you don't feel heard, okay?
Exactly.
And so in sales, that's really important too, like eye contact, connecting to them, matching their tone, not doing all this sort of crazy stuff.
Even mirroring, like one thing, when I learned this, I was like, mirroring body language. Like, for example, if someone has their hands like, and I mirror you, you automatically feel more connected.
Now we're going to start mirroring too.
Like, but it's, when I learned that, I was like, and I started practicing it in sales, and then I was like, oh my gosh, it works. They cross their legs, you cross yours. Like I just started practicing with it because I started researching more about it, and I was like, I can actually put this into application because I am doing sales. So as they cross their legs, I'd cross mine. If they folded, I know, if they come, I would never fold my arms back if they were, because that can indicate like closed off. So I'd always present with my palms up and out, because this is like open and welcoming. And always when I'd tour, I'd go like this. So little things like that are so interesting. But when I learned mirroring, I was like, that's insane, and it works, and it's so true.
For sure. And another real big element to it is like understanding values and speaking to their values, right? Like I obviously have a sales element in my coaching business, and sort of in the media too. Media's a little bit different, but in the coaching more so. When I'm like talking to someone and they're like, oh, I've got this problem, etc. I'm talking to their values. I don't like, if I value health and fitness and reading and self-development, that's mine. They might not value those same things. So what I used to do when I was younger, I messed up, I would speak to my values. I would say, bro, don't you want to become the best? Don't you want to, become the best you or get in incredible shape? And they're just like, not really, bro. Like, that's not what I value.
They don't care about it.
That's right. Yeah. Whereas when I understood that values play such a major part in making decisions, I'm like, okay, I just need to speak to their values. Let's say
Let's even relate to them or speak on their level. Or
that's exactly right, yeah.
You just have to, because everyone's beliefs and life experiences are different. So you kind of make that assessment, I guess, in the first 5-10 minutes of speaking to someone. What I can say, like, where are they at?
Yeah.
Where are they at? Even with their, like, intellectual, emotional intelligence. Like, I can normally assess someone quite quickly and understand, okay, do I have to play it down a bit, my personality? Because, you're just going to set...
That's right.
They can't relate to you.
Want to connect.
If you're
that's right.
Some people are not at the level that we're at, with the way that we speak and connect and talk. And we have high emotional intelligence, social skills, people skills, et cetera, et cetera. You meet someone who doesn't have that, they would be in here like, well, what's going on?
That's right. It's about connection. I learned that too with writing, right? I do a lot of writing online for my personal brand. I read a lot. I have a lot of insights and I love sharing them. So I write a lot. But what I've realized is with my writing, you don't write to your vocab level or to your understanding, your intellect. You need to write to the reader, right? So you actually and I'm not saying this from a place of cockiness, it's just absolute truth. You need to dumb yourself down. If you are speaking to the masses, and realistically speaking, the majority of people do not read books, they're not very intelligent, they don't have much emotional intelligence, so you can't speak with all this terminology that you know how to use and that you have the prior context on. You speak to them, you break things down, you use language they can understand and relate to. you know, if I would, like, sometimes I'll write things on like self-realization and stuff like this, and I'm talking about you need to transcend the body mind and attain, you know, non-duality, and people are like
what,
automatically their mind shuts off as soon as they most people, when they say a word they don't know, mind shut off, scroll, get away from me.
And that's the thing I was about to say with social media, time and time again. When I'm filming, I'm like, we need to make this digestible. Is the word. And people sometimes create content or want to create content. I get asked to create content, but it's way too overcomplicated or not digestible. I'm like, this isn't, you got to think about the consumer. Like, how are they digesting it? Like, we have to use Gen Z terminology. We have to really make it easy and digestible. Again, because it's not just for that purpose, it's for like people when they're scrolling through social media, customer behavior is they're usually in bed, they're relaxed. A lot of the time they're not wired and stimulated. Yes, okay, I'm ready to listen to a really intellectual clip for 30 seconds. They want to just chill. So you need to make it chill and digestible.
That's right, yeah. And different platforms serve different purposes. Yeah, I used to post like 10-minute videos on Instagram when it would allow you to do that. And like, I just like, no one's watching that, bro. No one's sitting there for 10 minutes and watching your video. Now I post like...
Not even 2 minutes, like 60 seconds is a miracle if they watch it.
Yeah, honestly, like attention span's like goldfish speck. But I posted a video the other day of literally, I think it was like 4 seconds. Like the clip was literally, I took it from a podcast. It was, I wholeheartedly believe porn is a weapon to keep men weak, numb and distracted. That's what I said. I posted it. It done pretty fucking well. And I was like, that's like 4 or 5 seconds. But then if I post a video of me going and explaining something in depth for a minute and a half, people are like, nah.
It's that attention span. And so many entrepreneurs on the internet will say this, we're just competing for attention now. As on the internet, we're competing for attention, and marketing is on the internet now. So if you run a business, you know, marketing is the engine to your business. So you should be looking at marketing it.
Eyeballs, literally.
Like, how can I get eyeballs on my business?
Definitely.
It's all about that. Eyes on the prize. And sometimes it's just, even if they're not purchasing from you yet, we just want awareness, eyes on the prize, awareness. And sometimes businesses struggle to understand that brand awareness and eyes on the prize doesn't always immediately mean dollar signs. No. Sometimes it takes time to build up $2 to convert them, right? For sure. Businesses don't sometimes understand this. That's all learning.
I have a lot of people who have signed up for the coaching clients with me, and they tell me they've been watching my stuff for years. And I'm like, why did it take so long? Like they say, bro, I've been watching your videos every day. Like, you know, I post a fair amount of videos and pictures and whatever. Oh, bro, I love all your stuff. I've been watching for like 2 years. And I'm like, why did it? But for some people, it takes that long. They need to know, like, and trust you. Yeah. They're the biggest things. So if there's a lack of consistency there, and that's why the business you're in and sort of the business, the way my media business is going as well with the social media content, it's so important. I talk to tradies and all sorts of people, and they say, oh, no, I don't do that social media shit. I'm just like, bro, like, you are leaving a massive amount of clients untapped.
Or opportunity in general.
Yeah, massive, yeah. Like, brand awareness. Where does someone go? As soon as, if I say to you, oh my God, you should try this, you like, go suss this gym out. Where are you going? Instagram. You want to look at the gym.
Social media, yeah.
Yeah. We're not going to drive 40 minutes to look at it. Straight away we're going to the social media page, which is the portfolio. That's I tell people social media is your shop front. So your shop front needs to, again, be easily digestible. Your shop front needs to reflect what you're selling or what you have on offer. It shouldn't be confusing or mixed messages, or I shouldn't go on there. And if you go on your social media page right now and you are confused, then you need to reassess your strategy and what you're reflecting on there, because we'll even get a third-party perspective, because as a business owner it might make sense to you, but again, is it dumbed down enough for the consumer to go on your social media page and understand what you're selling? Go get that third-party perspective. Hey, what do you think of my business page? What do you feel? What does it reflect? What am I asking you to buy from me? And see what their response is. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, something I struggled with was, especially with because I used to run my coaching business through like an individual coaching page. And then I just said, you know what, the coaching and who I am, it's actually the same thing. Like I'm not, it's not like, I'm putting my coaching hat on. No, like all the philosophy, everything I talk about, I embody everything. It is who I am.
You are a mentor, a coach.
That's right, yeah. So I run it all through my personal page. And initially I really struggled in the sense of feeling like, can I express who I am outside of being a coach? Because I was like, maybe, I had some people in my immediate circle and stuff telling me, oh, don't post that. Don't post even a gym picture with this sort of music. Like, I like to listen to a bit of techno or whatever at the gym. Who gives a fuck about hard stuff?
But it's you.
Yeah. And then they're like, oh, what if prospective clients are looking at that and think, I don't want, I was like, bro, if someone doesn't want to work with me because I listen to this type of music, I don't want to work with them either.
Exactly right. It's your vibe attracts your tribe.
That's right,
like, what you reflect and who you are. If someone doesn't resonate, well, then you're probably going to be an annoying client anyway, to be honest. You're probably going to want to fire them anyway. So
and I did it for a little bit. Like, I'm not going to lie, I did the whole only post coaching stuff. If I was, even if I had a really good picture with my family or something, I'm like, oh, that's not really relevant to coaching. And then I'm like, fuck this, bro.
But everyone has a family.
That's right. Yeah, I'm like, I am like, before I'm a coach, before I'm doing all this, I'm a fucking human with my own life. And I was like, why can't I post what the fuck I want on my social media? I was like, I feel like I'm in a prison. But yeah, like I just made the leap and I was like, now I post a lot of coaching stuff, of course, but I also post a lot of like personal stuff. If I'm at the river with my mates, I'm going to post a picture. I don't care. Like, oh no, the coach is at the river, not in his house coaching. Like, who cares, bro?
No, I don't think anyone would care.
No one gives a fuck. Yeah.
They don't care. They just. And if they do care, again, you don't want to be working with them, I think. No. Quite frankly.
People want, like, I talked before on the authentic piece, people want humans, bro. We don't want this, we know, like, if someone, you're a coach or you're a media, we know you have a normal life as well. We don't need to pretend like you're just always this coaching man or woman. We know that you have off days. We know it's like, why the facade? And you know what it creates?
Showcase it, right? Yeah.
Literally, I learned this from my experience. It creates like a divide in the psyche. Like, I know this sounds, bro, it's just social media, it's not that deep. But no, it is that deep. Like, I had my, my personal page, and then I was like, because I was only allowed to by what other people were sort of imposing on me and I was listening to them, I was only allowed to post coaching stuff. Even doing normal human shit, like just spending time with family, I'm like, I should be coaching. Like, why am I not coaching? But then once I integrated it all into like, you know what? No, I am Rookie. This is who I am. Everything's encompassed within that. I can live a life however I want to. I can post whatever the fuck I want to. If people don't want that, clients don't want that, unfollow. I don't care.
And what have you found with obviously merging personal brand and your coaching business on one page compared to just trying to have it as a coaching page? Do you find you attract better clients, or have you attracted more clients?
Way better and more, because it's human. Exactly. Like, I'll post something completely unrelated, something probably a little bit fucking politically incorrect, whatever, and I'm making a stupid joke about something, and like someone will message me like, what the fuck, bro, this is so funny, laugh. And then they're like, oh, by the way, I'm actually struggling with this, I meant to reach out. Boom. And then it's just the ability to adapt of like, yes, have a joke, etc. But if someone actually wants to work with you, then you can be like, yeah, cool, man, we're having a joke, but now let's actually do some work here.
Because I remember when I used to run my personal training, I had the same thing because I didn't see the point in, as a coach, like when I was doing personal training, I should be representing my own life as living and breathing health and fitness.
The embodiment of it, yeah.
Yeah. So, but when I did combine my personal brand and my health and fitness page in one, like my personal training page in one, it went so much better. And the feedback from that was like, people loved to see when I was out at dinner, when I was doing day-to-day things, like every single day, like most days I would post like a picture of me going for a walk. And I got so many people giving me feedback on that and going like, thank you so much, like just you, like seeing you every day going for a walk, like motivates me to do that. Yeah. And I was like, people are hiring me because I post a picture of my walk every day. Like it's strange because
you're portraying consistency.
Exactly, the consistency of it, and most people just need to, again, if they're gonna hire you, like my personal life, they could relate to, and they go, if she can do all these things, like go out and do all these things and go out for dinners and go out for lunches and go out for brunch and spend time doing whatever she wants to do in her personal life and still achieve health and fitness and still look like that. Well,
so can I.
so can I.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm going to hire this person, because I can actually relate. They're hiring me because of what I'm representing on my personal brand. Nothing
Of course,
to do with
yeah.
the coaching, right? Like,
Yeah.
because they relate to that. They're not always relating to just get off the couch and, you know, go for a walk.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Sure.
well, most people, that's not, that the block, there's a blockage there.
Yeah,
There's
and a lot of that
blockage in
marketing
their
too.
mind.
I see this in a lot of PTs, and I speak from experience in the sense of a lot of my marketing, I didn't even intend to, but it came from a place of shame. I used to, my whole marketing approach, like I look back on old videos and cringe, but I feel like if you're not cringing,
Yeah, me
old
too.
you're not growing. But like my old videos, like, you know, I'd open up and like, why are you still watching porn? I was like, bro, like, as someone who's doing that, or
You're
someone
attacking,
who's
you're
they're
attacking,
like,
Ricky.
fuck off, bro. You're not like,
Yeah.
that's not a supportive type thing. Some people need that, like especially some men who are really in their masculine.
Some people relate
they
to it,
need
but
like
the masses don't.
Yeah, and I watch that shit now and I'm like, bro, if I was, you know, watching porn still and I seen that and I wanted to quit and I seen this guy and I'd be like, you make me feel shit about what I'm doing. I don't want to be around you.
Because you bring up the shame in them, right?
Yeah, literally, yeah. I think too, like with you mentioned people want to work with you because of what you embody and show. Bro, I've had that many clients message me and start to work with me, and I ask them just out of curiosity, like after they sign up, I said, what made you want to work with me? And a lot of them have said, man, I just love how you carry yourself. I love, you know, you're always at the gym, you're always smiling, you're always laughing. They're like, I want that. Because the reality is, if you are, you know, where everyone's selling something. If you're not selling something for yourself, you're selling it for your employee, whether maybe it's even your time. But what I'm selling, especially in the coaching sense, is essentially helping people out of self-destructive habits, self-sabotage, but for the goal of more control over their life, more self-respect, more personal power, all this sort of stuff, more happiness even. If I was saying, oh yeah, do this work, you can become all this, and then I was like every day moping around, sad as fuck, and you know, I had no self-respect, and I didn't hit the gym, and I didn't, people were like, bro, you're trying to guide us to a destination that you're not even at. You need to, whatever, and this is the, I don't have an issue with the coaching industry, but I have like a bit of a, how do you say this? Like a little bit of a bone to pick in the sense of, you need to embody what the fuck you sell. If you are trying to guide people to a fit body, brother, you better have a fit body. Don't try and tell me how to get fit if you are fucking obese or...
It's like the... One thing I stand by a lot is like, whether it's relationship advice, financial advice, any advice in general, is like, I'm not going to take, for example, relationship advice from someone who's not in a relationship that I aspire to be in. I'm not going to take financial advice from someone who's not in a financial position I aspire to be in. Like, because, like you said, like, people are hiring you because you are in a position of happiness and all these things that you're reflecting. And it's so true. You shouldn't be taking advice from anyone who's not reflecting what you want.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's so true. Like, you can end up in worse financial positions or worse relationship positions if you take advice from a relationship that's broken, or a relationship that isn't ideally what you'd like, then just ending up, maybe you might end up going back to your partner and causing a bigger issue, or ending a relationship that could have been saved because you took advice from
definitely
a broken one.
It's mindful, you got to be mindful of who you take advice off. That's why, like with obviously I write a lot, I share a lot of stuff. I honestly, like 99.9% of the stuff I create, it's all from like lived experience. I don't really like to talk from a place of like theory or just like assumption type thing. And a lot of the time I'll literally pre-frame in my videos. I'll say, man, like, you know, for example, I made a video literally yesterday on the softening effect of women in relationships and how it can take the men out of the masculine, depolarization. Anyway.
We should get to that because that's interesting, but yeah.
Yeah, we will. And I basically said, I was like, I'm speaking on this from someone who fucked up in the past. I was like, I sunk into my feminine. It was my responsibility. I messed up, and now I'm speaking that experience. I'm not speaking from I just read a book and I'm talking about this. No, I know what happens if this isn't paid attention to. That's right, and I know how you can fix it. So. Yeah,
interesting. When you were... Why did you feel you were sinking into your feminine? Was it because she felt she had to be in her masculine? Like, what do you think? Why did the dynamic shift, or why did it?
Yeah, so basically what happened was, and this is the pattern. I'll quickly lay out the pattern, then I'll go into my story. So, and I'll use the term alpha guy, not in the like macho whatever, just in the sense of like he's in his peak state, he's locked in.
Yeah.
Gen Z. So we got this guy, single man, and he's in his most alpha state. He's locked in. He's on top of his training. His career's on point. Finances are on point. He's like in his masculine energy, direction. He is all about like drive and ambition, and that's very attractive to a feminine woman, right? So the masculine man who's locked in, attracts the feminine woman. Oh my God, beautiful. They get in a relationship. Everything's swell and smitten at the start, right? And then what
honeymoon phase.
And then what tends to happen is the man who was so locked in and so zoned in, because he was doing that to attract and gain female attention, approval, and validation. Now he's like, cool, got the girl. Don't need to do all that shit I was doing before. I can ease up on the gym. I can stop doing this. I can stop doing that. And then the woman's like, hold the fuck up.
This is the reason I came.
Yeah, the guy, I can't see you necessarily as a leader. I don't feel safe in my feminine energy to trust you to lead the relationship anymore because you're not who you once were. So he sinks down into his feminine because he's comfortable. She then has to, out of lack of safety, rise into her masculine. Depolarization occurs. She sees him as like a little fucking passive man, like a son almost. Like the dynamic is almost like I'm taking care of this guy. He sees her as like this overbearing bitch. Like, oh, you're so controlling. Nagging. Bro, and I tell this to the guy, tongue twister. I tell this to guys all the time. It's your fault, bro. You sunk into your feminine. She had to rise into her masculine. She doesn't want to be here, bro. She wants to be the fun, playful woman, supportive, nurturing.
But it's like the man initially, right? And I can speak from experience.
Yeah.
Plans a date and takes the lead and goes to the gym. And because at the start, you're both showing the best of the best of who you are to attract each other.
You're in the sexual marketplace.
Exactly. And then when, exactly like you say, like if he gets comfortable, he stops planning dates. He stops putting in effort and asking how your day was. And there becomes exactly right. Then she has to step in and go, hey, well, like put in this effort. Hey, how was your day? How was this? How was that? It becomes that imbalance.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm a big believer the courtship phase should never end. The flirting, the dates, this. Like, you shouldn't get to a point of neutrality with your partner where, they're just like sort of a teammate with your life. No, it should literally be like you're courting them, you're flirting with them. Keep it alive, Linking it back to what you said before, like how did I end up in a position where I was in this super feminine state and this, not even going to knock it.
Because someone from the outside perspective would look at you and go, how did you, because like you embody all those things, how did you end up in that state? Yeah. Because that's interesting, right?
Yeah, well how old was I? I think I was like 19 years old. But anyway, I basically what happened was when I first got with the girl, exactly the example I provided, into the gym, XYZ, crushing it, she loved that. Oh my God, I love how driven you are, whatever, right? All this stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure she's listening to you like,
you know what's funny? She's the only person who knows who she is because I obviously won't mention her name. But anyway, so it was all good at the start. And then what happened was I started like getting obsessed with mastering the internal world and spirituality and non-duality, and all these things are really, really good when they're balanced. But because I was first exposed to them, I was just like, I went from this from this entrepreneurial, driven, ambitious guy to none of this is real. Fuck money. Fuck society. I'm just all I want to do is meditate and observe
and
the mind.
Just live in the bush.
Sit on a mountain. Yeah, and she would literally be like, what are we doing this weekend? I'm like, whatever will happen, will happen. And she's like, bro, so
where's the leadership?
That's right. There was like
no direction,
full responsibility. Yeah, okay. Like I was the decay of that relationship, right? Which is cool. It's fine in the grand scheme of things.
You learn.
I sunk. She rose. Then we're like, it's not working out. And I'm like, fuck you. You're nagging me. Leave me alone. I just want to do this. And she's like, you don't do anything. I was the cause of that. I learned from it. Like I got out of it. And I was like, why did she go from this beautiful, playful, supportive, woman who was like my biggest, almost like a cheerleader dynamic, to my fucking overbearing mother, it felt like. And it's because I wasn't giving her anything to support because I was in my feminine energy. She had to rise up. That's how it happened. And now what I have, I guess the progression of that is I still have all that spiritual nature and I've never let that go, but I've also understood like, bro, all good to know all these things and meditate and come to self-realization and attain true inner peace. but also be a contributing member of society, have your drive, have your ambition, keep hitting the gym. I even stopped, bro. I was like, I don't care about the gym. I don't care about money in this relationship. I was like, all of it's fake. It's an illusion, right? And she's like, bro.
She's like, you need to be doing, in somewhat in reality.
That's right. That's exactly.
She's trying to articulate here.
And so now it's a solid balance of like, all that, but also the masculine drive and stuff as well. I think it's
because I know, like, in the past, in a lot of, like, in my past relationships, dating, before I understood the feminine masculine dynamic, I've always been very, very masculine and driven and directive. Like very much my father played a massive role in, like, Chantelle, like, made me strong, made me made me this strong woman. But I didn't realize how masculine I was. And then I was like, I actually need to relax and be the feminine and let him lead. And the minute I started to do that and let the man actually to lead and take charge, because I very much am like a planner, an organizer. I like, okay, let's go. Yep, boom, boom, boom. But then the minute I'm like, actually, I just need to relax and let the man take the lead and take control, it made me feel so much more at ease, because exactly what I could relax into my feminine. I just was a supportive, playful, feminine that I am. And I think that's made, I'm not in a relationship, but it's, when I realised that, it made, when I've been dating and so on and so forth, so much easier, because also, like, it reflects the masculine in a man. When I relax into my feminine, it showcases the masculine in the man.
For sure. As much as I say it's the man's responsibility in this for the sexual polarity, also the woman has a lot of power in the relationship, in the sense of you can sort of determine how much masculinity your man can rise into. The feminine has the ability to evoke the masculine to the degree that they give them space to do so, right? So if a woman walks up to a man and says, hey, what do you think we should do here? The man, especially if he's in his masculine energy, we see that as almost like an honor. When someone comes to a man with a problem, it's not annoying. Like, a lot of, I don't know, maybe some men react from a place of annoyance, but a lot of men see it as like an opportunity of, wow, I'm trusted. She can see me as someone who can lead in this position. This is an honor. I feel so good that she's actually able to come to me with this. Here's what we can do.
Men like to be given tasks and challenges to complete. And then when the woman reacts with that and with not annoyance, with like, oh my God, like, thank you so much, like, you're amazing, like, you helped me out so much with this, like, the man feels that boost, that ego, that
literally,
and like that for a man is like dopamine. Whereas for her, like, having him help her out or protect her by doing something, then she feels safe and comfortable, and then it releases that serotonin for her. It's a happy balance.
Definitely. And I think too, like, the language women use is so important. Like, I'll just like have here, I'll use two examples of two different women that I've had experiences with. Let's say they ask me the same question. One would ask like this, one would ask, not even ask, more of an order. You need to do this. Straight away, like, I'm like, fuck you, bro. Like, don't.
That's masculine, right? That's directive.
It's like, what, are you my commander? Like, I'm not your slave. That's honestly how it makes me feel. I want to rebel against that. I'm like, don't tell me what to fucking do. But then it
doesn't showcase, that sentence doesn't showcase, like, team. Like, what I'm saying, not at all. Team, right? It showcases you need to, it's a direction, it's separation.
That's almost. Right. Whereas, like, this other woman, how she would approach, I guess, like, a task that needs to be completely different way, and it just makes me want to serve her. It makes me want to help her. Like, she would literally come up to me and say, like, hey, I know you're really busy right now, but I would really appreciate if you do this, and I'm asking you because, you do it really well, or something like that. I'm just like, fuck yeah. And even though it is like an ego play, it's like, oh, this makes me feel good, this makes me feel not good. It doesn't matter. It's like, it matters. It does matter.
Yeah.
It does matter how we talk to each other, and we're not each. If you're in a relationship with someone, they're not your fucking slave. Ask them, talk to them nicely. A bit of kindness, and especially when dealing with the masculine, suggestive language goes a long way. And
it's like, I learned a lot of that, like, even in, like, not even the relationship, but in general, talking to people, different types of people, like, the way that you communicate. And people don't even know how to do that these days. They don't even know how to, because you can, again, it's psychology, right? But a lot of people are more willing to help me and go out of their way for me because of the way that I speak to them, the way that I make them feel, the way that I am towards them makes them want to do more for me. You know, I treat everyone like, I used to do in sales over the phone all the time. One of my biggest tricks that I used to do is I used to treat everyone like a friend. Yeah. I used to say I used to answer the phone and be like, hey, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, how have you been? That simple sentence, instead of like, hi, how are you today? That's right, yeah. That's like, I'm like, oh, how have you been? By me putting that sentence, how have you been? It sounds like I'm your friend, you already know me. That's right, yeah. So it makes people feel more comfortable automatically. You're operating from a frame of assumed connection. Exactly. I was actually I've got a men's self-development community called the Self-Mastery Society, and one of the guys in there, well, a couple actually, they're trying to build social confidence and stuff, and they're talking to me and they're like, bro, you have peak social, I am, without sounding, social butterfly, very much so, right? And a lot of that was developed from a lot of the events that I've captured, and I had to develop it. Yeah. But they're I literally asked me how do I cultivate social confidence? And I was actually trying to think about it because I've never sat down and created this within me. It sort of just developed. Yeah, because for me, it was from a child, right? It's my whole life I've been put in situations to make that develop. But I guess maybe if you don't have that, how would you? Yeah, and I think I came to a pretty good conclusion, a framework, and you sort of just mentioned it then, but it's assuming that there's already a connection. If I'll be walking on the strip of Bondi near the beach, someone's there, and I'll just walk up and say, hey brother, how you been? Shake their hand. Oh, let's get a picture, or do you want a picture of you and your partner, whatever. When I meet someone, I already assume in my mind there's not one seed of doubt that this person doesn't like me, there's no connection. I'm like, we're already connected. Again, the internal monologue. Literally. So yeah, and I started practicing that actually, just in general. I started practicing that, and it literally works. I've been at the beach, and this older lady was just in there, and I smiled at her, and then I started talking to her, and then we just connected, and we started talking, and we were there for half an hour. It just, exactly you said, you assume, if I walk into a room, or I've done it before, and go, oh, this person doesn't like me, this person doesn't like me, so on and so forth. When I walk in that room, I'm probably going to come in with attitude, barrier up already, my body language, my eye contact, everything is going to say to that person that I don't like them. Definitely, yeah. It's going to show externally. Whereas if I go in and I go, nah, I'm changing the dialogue, I'm going to walk in there and go, this person is going to love me, this person is going to embrace me, so on and so forth. I'm going to walk in, I'm going to smile, probably hug them, say hello as if that person is my best friend, then they're more likely to reciprocate that. Absolutely. You can control what's happening. Literally, there's it's the world is made up of more than just matter, it's energy, right? And energy is portrayed outward. And I think a couple of things. Firstly, when I did an exercise once, I was at a coaching event, and they made us walk around and shake everyone's hands, but while we're doing that, we had to tell ourselves in our head that we're a fucking loser and no one wants to talk to us. The body language and the energy of everyone was so weird, and no one wanted to talk to anyone, and then they said, now tell yourself you're the best and everyone wants to talk to you. And you're just whoa, how you going, brother? It was, energy was next level. You can feel it, yeah. And two, to tap on to what you said in the sense of walking into a room and making sure your internal dialogue is on point. I changed the frame. I used to sort of walk into rooms and be like, oh, I wonder if they're going to like me, etc. Now I walk in and I'm like, I wonder if I'm going to like these people. It's not a thing of I'm proving myself to them. It's they're sort of proving themselves to me. Do I want to be in this room? Maybe, maybe not. But when I operate from that place of this might sound cocky, but I operate from the place of I am the prize. Me interacting with these people, it's not something I need. I don't. Maybe I'm not even going to like these people. I think like that, and I think it's a good place of. You're not trying to prove yourself to people. I am how I am. I swear, maybe I'm a little bit politically incorrect, whatever. If you don't like it, fuck off. I don't care. I actually don't. And that level of confidence is what attracts people. That level of confidence gains respect. And if it doesn't gain respect, everything is that mirror reflection of who that person is. Yeah. If they're jealous, it probably comes from insecurity. If you are this confident being and someone doesn't like you, I genuinely think because I don't ever not like people because I'm very confident and accepting and welcoming. So like a lot of the time, if they don't like me or it's insecurity upon them usually that's reflecting out, oh, she's confident or he's confident, whatever it might be. And, you know, it's not really my problem if you don't like me. Like I don't care. Like it doesn't, my world is great. Like someone not liking me doesn't make everything fall apart and make me, oh, this person's like, well, this is it. Like, and I generally don't really usually have people that don't like me.
Yeah.
If they do, it's in secret. I don't know about it. But
I think there's a lot of the time people will see someone like, I feel like me and you both have very big personalities, a lot of charisma, a lot of confidence. Sometimes when you show up with this energy, it can, it sort of shines a mirror, right? We are all mirrors to each other. If someone's showing up with high energy, high confidence, this, and an individual doesn't have that, it mirrors back on them what they lack, and it can make them be like, oh my God, I'm not embodying this. And it's easier to just judge that person and say, that person's a this, than acknowledge that, hey, they might have more development than you in this area. You know, like let's say...
We all know our own paths and our own... It's like there's so many people that are so ahead of me, and instead of me looking at them going like... like...
It's inspiration or intimidation.
Yeah, like, oh, I wish I could be... It's like, I cling on to them, how can I learn from you? Like, you're here, definitely, I want to be there. I'm like, can I please just spend 2 minutes in your aura? Like,
yeah, 100%.
Like, let me be around that, because that is what's going to get me further.
Yeah.
And that mindset changes everything. And I've, time and time again, people who embrace people who are ahead of them instead of putting hate towards them because they're not, you want to be in that position, you're in that position yet. Yeah. That's what is going to get you further, by embracing that rather than rejecting that.
Definitely. It's like the whole tall poppy syndrome. But I have a little mental model that I really like to use, which is, I think there are 3 types of people in life. Okay, so we're all at our certain points, and we all have our strengths, and we all have our weaknesses, and we all have elements in which we've progressed a lot and elements in which we haven't progressed at all. Right? So you've got the people who are below you, right? Not in a superiority sense, but in the sense of they're less along the journey in a specific field than you are. Okay, so what's an example of this? Let's say someone's been doing jiu-jitsu for 5 years and someone who just starts. The person who just starts is below the person who's been doing it for 5. Okay, so we have the people, well, let's just stick with the jiu-jitsu example, but it translates to all areas. Yeah. Person who just starts jiu-jitsu, they have someone above them now. Right? Now they can look at the person above them as intimidation or inspiration. They can choose to see them as like, oh yeah, they're only like this because of this, go in this victim mentality. Yeah. Or they can say, hey, you know, can you teach me this, and they can learn from them. Now we also have people who are beside us. People who are on the exact same level. Now, I see those people as allies, as like, hey, we're on the same path, let's learn together and do this together. Then we have people who are always going to be above us too, which is great because we can say, hey, can I learn from you? So my relationship with every part of every version of this is those who are below me, I think it's my personal responsibility to say, hey, let me help you up. I'll offer help in a lot of cases because people have helped me up and continue to help me up who are above me. People who are beside me, allies, teammates, let's go with this together. People who are above me, hey man, can you please help me get to this point? In that way, we're serving, we're collaborating, and we're receiving.
Again, it's like, are you going to... Yeah, intimidation's a big thing. People get intimidated, but I just think, what for? Like, learn from it, like, take what you can from it. Like, there's no need to be jealous of the people that are above you. And jealousy is like a big thing. People who are jealous of, oh, I wish I could be where you are. It's like, well, how about you ask me how I am there and learn from me? And
exactly.
I'm not going to help you rise up where I am, because people are usually above you, want to pull you up with you. It's the people who are down below that then are like, oh, no, I don't want to like take your hand up, because it's jealousy, it's intimidation, it's resistance against, it's a resistance to the mentality, mindset, whatever it might be. It's like, you actually just like, let me like pull you up and help you, then we're going to go further together.
Well, you know what? It's real interesting you say that. A major thing that holds men back is their inability to receive help. And I used to have the exact same thing. It's just ego. It's thinking that receiving help makes you weak or incapable or incompetent. It's not fucking true. I literally used to think I have to do everything myself in my business and in my personal development journey. And once I like realized, like, you know, and I think it was from
we're humans, like we're designed for
collaborate.
Connection.
Yeah.
And like we are designed, we literally put someone in isolation in a room, they will not do well.
Yeah.
Like, isolate someone, they will not do well.
We're creatures of community, and yeah.
I heard something once, it was like, why do you think in jails the worst, like, you're in jail, worst of the worst that can already get, right? Yeah. Why do you think the next worst punishment is the isolation cell?
Yeah.
Because even in jail, people are put together.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These rapists and murderers are all still put together because it's like, they need some sort of connection, or they're going to go more mental.
Yeah. And that's really true. And with the whole like men not being able to receive the help, right? Especially me in my past, as soon as I started to realize, and I think it was from reading the book, The E-Myth, learning that like asking for help is a fast track. It's not anything bad about that. But I was like, I'm asking everyone for help. I am a pro receiver, like in terms of like, if there's someone and they're in a position, I'm like, bro, help me get there, help me get there, help me get there. And I just think you only serve yourself when you do that. Like it's so beneficial to you. And in the sense of like humans being interdependent, there's a great analogy or little, call it whatever you want, a model that I learnt, which is basically when we're born, we are dependent, completely dependent. If mum doesn't feed us or dad doesn't do
dead,
whatever,
we're gone.
We're dead, literally, right? But then we grow up and we get to around, I don't know, call it whatever age you want, but let's just say for the example, 16 years old. We're independent. We don't need you can feed yourself before then, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you go from a dependent state to independent, right? You no longer need your parents to survive anymore. You can do it by yourself. But then you get a little bit older and you realize that the true power isn't in independence, it's in interdependence. Circles, teams, communities, like it's what it's all about. You, especially
you get so much further.
If we're talking purely from a competitive standpoint in business, like you're not going up against one person. You're going up against fucking teams of people who are designed to take you out, bro. So it's like, think about you build a team or you fall victim to the people who have teams. That's how I see it.
Yeah, and it's true. But even then, like, even if you are in the same industry, people think competition is bad, but competition is good. Yeah. And look at it like, look where, do you think KFC and McDonald's think competition's bad when they're literally they're always lined up next to each other? Yeah. McDonald's, KFC, Porto, they're all on the same street. Yeah. Competition isn't a bad thing. No, if anything, it can help elevate and grow together. Like we both run media businesses, but you do different things to what I do, and we can learn and grow from each other. We don't have to. That's right. Be negative towards each other or think competition is bad, because it doesn't have to be. No, you're trying to take me out. No, honestly, no, but when it comes to like businesses particularly, especially in the coaching industry, I've got a lot of I know a lot of people in that industry, and a lot of them are like, we're in the same niche, we shouldn't share information. I honestly see it like this, from I think that's a real scarcity perspective. My perspective of abundance is literally like, we can serve the same person with the same problem, provide the exact same solution. We will still attract different clients. Yeah. Because it's a different. We're drawn to different people. Yeah. Like for example, obviously, we're fucking different genders. You're a woman. You're just so everyone knows. 2025. You got to establish that. It's true. Woke bullshit. Anyway, so you're a woman. I'm a guy. Naturally, there are going to be some people who are more drawn to a woman media girl, lady, than a man media man, right? Yeah. Because think of it like this. Let's say even tradies, right? I'm an ex-tradie myself. Tradies are probably more comfortable hiring me to go and do some shoots because I know how things run, in comparison to you. But then in the same sense, a woman who runs a fashion boutique or something like that is probably way more comfortable with you than she is with me. No, 100%. Like we're going to attract separate people even with the same exact service. Exactly. And you know what, like, there's so much work out there anyway. Like again, it's having an abundance mindset. I'm in my mind, I'm like, there is so much media work for both me and Ricky's businesses to thrive, and there is, because the industry is just absolutely exploding, and it's growing and growing and growing, because digital marketing is not slowing down anytime soon. No. So I know there is so much work for both of our businesses to be flourishing, rather than if I was in a scarcity mindset, I'd be scared, oh, well, what if I get close to Ricky and Ricky takes one of my clients? Well, if he does, good on him, have it. I don't care, but even then, that's I know there's more opportunity elsewhere, and even if something falls, it's like, even if something falls off my lap, it's not meant for me anyway, because I have an abundance mindset. Like I recently, one of my clients, was having some cash flow issues, so he's like, hey, I'm going to have to stop with you.
Yeah.
And he was a pretty, like, big client for me. And I was like, cool, no worries, that's all good.
Yeah.
Because I have an abundance mindset.
Yeah.
And, like, again, as a feminine energy, I don't chase, I attract.
Yeah.
I'm very big on that. And now I have 2 new clients.
Yeah.
And I literally did nothing. Like, I literally was like, okay. I was like, okay, God, provide me what I need. Pray for opportunities, and opportunities come.
Yeah. And I think there's a great, it's a popular quote on Insta, but it's basically saying, like, competition's at the bottom, the people at the top are collaborating.
Exactly.
It's true. I know so many, like, in whatever industry, the coaching or the media, I know so many people that are doing the same or very similar thing to me, and we work together. Like, if for example, I shot a wedding, like, specific wedding, like 7 months ago or something now, and I was like, this is too much for me to do alone. I need a second shooter. I'm going to call in my mate. Or even with the coaching thing, I have my men's self-development community. I'm not the only coach in there. I have 4 other coaches who run classes every single week. Like, that is collaboration. That's where the power's at, and true leverage. Not, I'm the only person who can do this. And even going back to the initial thing of you talking about delegation at the start, a lot of that too comes from not even just a money perspective of, I need to save money by not hiring people. It's a perceived status thing. Business owners like to think that they are the only person who can do their job as good as them. And I know this because I used to think that. When in reality, there are
this
people.
This is a whole topic, but
there are people who can not only do it as good as you, but better. And they're not your competition. Hire them. Bring them into your business. Use their leverage their wisdom and their skill. They can become a part of your team. You know,
and not even if they're not going to work at, like, you work at 100% capacity of your job. Even if they work at 70 or 80% of what you could do, at least then, you know, most of your customers are not going to notice that 20% drop, right? Like, I know with my videographer or my editor or whatever, I know I could do 100% the way that I want to do it, and Chantelle's expectation, because my expectation is high, right? As an employee, they're never really going to have as much care for your business, because it's your business, right?
It's your baby.
But as long as it's your baby, like, you're going to put in 100%. They might put in 70, 80% because they're being paid to do a good job, and they've got this great skill, and they're amazing at what they do. And all my employees are fantastic, because I've just found fantastic people. But even if they work at 70, 80% of what I could do, at least then it allows me to then go and to do other things and put 100% into other things. That's still growing. Even if it's like, for example, say you have a business that's making $100,000 a year. It's now making $80,000 a year because people are working at 80% of what it could have been making. This is just making up statistics, but then I can go put in 100% into something else that's then making me another $100,000. Now I have $180,000 a year instead of only $100,000 a year.
100%.
So that is where people need to understand, I think, with delegation, is it can allow you to grow and become bigger and bigger. And I was exactly like you. I was like, nah, all on my own. I want it to be 100% perfect. And then as soon as I let go of that, I was like, actually, I'm going to hire people, and like, I have so much more time back to do other things, and it's made me grow as a person. And I can be out at a coffee shop on a Thursday and end up meeting and talking to other people just because I'm not stuck in doing one thing in my office. Yeah,
definitely. Why do you think that, bit of a straight question, but why do you think that social media content is so powerful for a business in today's age?
Jeez. Marketing, because marketing's the engine to your business. So imagine like your car didn't have an engine. Like, take out the engine of your car and see how well it runs. That's basically the easiest way to describe it. But social media content specifically, again, eyes on the prize. Social media content, especially when we run like for example, I run ads for, most people know World Gym, what World Gym is. I run ads for World Gym. If we turned off their ads and stopped generating leads, sales would significantly suffer. Which means the business would start to be, because businesses, say the gym gets 100 cancellations and sales are only at 90. On a trajectory like that, if you continue doing that over months, the gym would start to decline in memberships. So we actually need to get 101, 102, 105 sales a month to cancel, to balance. And if you get more, statistically over the year, your business will grow.
Yeah.
The memberships will grow and the business grows. And at least stays afloat. When you have a trajectory of negative, then the business starts to, there's like red flags, like we need to do it. So if I stop the ads for that business, because we generate X amount of leads per month, which then the leads are then followed up and then sales are made from that. If I stop that, the business stops.
Yeah, definitely.
So again, on their social media, it's all works in conjunction. So their social media is their shop front. So being in front of people's eyes, giving awareness to them, and then we're running ads behind that. We're just pushing it out to more and more people. So without social media content, without a social media page, without running ads for that business, it would basically suffer a lot. It's such a, like flyers and radio, basically without social media, you're basically doing old school marketing, which is flyers, radios, and billboards.
Yeah.
Everyone's thinking about where people are here.
That's right,
on social media. You need to be where people are.
I had a conversation with someone the other day, and they're like, "Oh, I want to start doing some form of marketing. I'm thinking about making what they say. They're thinking about making some like flyer things and putting them like on signs and shit." I was like, "You can do that." I said, "But like social media first." And they're like, "Why?" I was like, unless someone's driving, and even when people are driving, people are still on their phones.
Yeah,
literally. When people are walking, their eyes are on their phones. When they've got when they're waiting at the barber to get their hair done, phone. That's everyone's eyes are there. Put your marketing there.
100%. Like spend money there.
Yeah.
Like why a flyer? Like I seen to someone like real estate still drop flyers in like letterboxes, and apparently they still get results from it. But, and again, think about the consumer. The consumer who's probably selling their house might be a bit older, so they might be a bit more old school. Yeah. But majority of the rest of the population, unless you're 60 plus, they are all on their phones. Even my mum, she's like the ideal customer because she buys everything she sees and everything is marketed to her. I'm like, Mum, you're the customer I need to sell to. Like, what's your mentality like? Like, she's my avatar.
Trying to learn her psycho-cybernetics.
Yeah, she's the avatar. So I'm like, but it knows, and the algorithms are getting, technology, AI, with more and more AI features coming out, the AI knows exactly how to sell the product. Like, when I'm running ads, like I barely need to prompt it. The way we used to. When we used to run ads, we used to have to prompt it a lot more to the person that we wanted, like that they're into health and fitness or they're into physical fitness. Now it's just like literally the algorithm does its thing. It knows who to advertise to. It knows what you're swiping on, what you're clicking on, what you're Googling. Like you think anyone who thinks like their data's safe, like you're stupid, because every time you go accept terms and conditions on every single app is selling to every single app back and forth. Instagram to Facebook, Facebook to Google, Google to YouTube. Why do you think when you Google something, it's pops all of a sudden it's across every app? I wonder why. You just terms and conditions.
Analytics
sells to everything.
What's it called? Cookies or something?
I don't even. I don't even know the cloud. It was up there somewhere.
It's wild. That's it's a massive thing, and I think a lot of people. I just think if you've ever ran an ad, you know your data's not safe. Like the amount that you can target. Like I can run an ad and target a single man who's a bricklayer in Western Sydney in Mount Druitt who likes this sort of beer. You honestly can go boom, boom,
you
boom,
can,
boom.
Yeah, you can be really specific. But these days, like you could literally just, whether it's an ad, or the way. An ad, you can be more like specific, whereas like organic content you need, because an ad, like algorithm will kind of find those clients and then, for example, if I'm advertising mangoes, it will show it to like people who like mangoes and show it to more mango people.
I love mangoes, bro. I'd get those ads.
Summer's coming. But do you know, if it was like that, it would go, the algorithm's good. It's like, okay, I'm going to find these sorts of people are interacting with this, so then I'm going to keep showing it to those people. Yeah. Whereas with organic content, like the organic piece of content has to kind of be interacted with to then show it to more people. Yeah. So for example, again, mangoes, if my my mango video is shown to X amount of mango people, and all those people are like, oh, this is a sick mango video. They like, comment, share, interact with it. Then it's going to show it to more mango people, more mango, and then that's when you get like viral video from that.
100%.
So organic is reliant on the content
engagement
itself, whereas like ads are going to find...
It's pay to play.
It's Meta wants you to spend more money. So it's going to try and find you clients to get you results.
Yeah.
Because if you get results, you're more likely to stay on there for longer and spend more.
Yeah.
Whereas organic, it's like you have to be more... The quality of your content matters more. Like what you're saying matters more. Like it matters more. And ads still matters. The creative is still important, because if what you're offering is not a cool offer, the ad's not going to get results, no matter how much the algorithm attempts. Like, you know, it can only do so much. But
there's a really great analogy around this, which is basically ads are asking the girl out. What is it? No, sorry. No, marketing is what is the thing?
I think I know.
I think it's no, that's right. Marketing is asking the girl out. Brand is why she says yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that. Like, you know, the ad is like, oh, I'm aware of this person now, and then they go and look at your brand, and that's like, yes, I'm going to go with them. No, I'm not.
Like, there's so many layers to it. Obviously, like that's just general and specific and like generalized, but there's so many more layers to it. Like, if you can do like one fantastic organic piece of content that goes viral, but then the rest of them don't. Like, and not really understand why it goes viral, and then but there's different purposes for content, because sometimes a viral organic piece of content doesn't equal sales.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's like, well, is it sometimes better just to make something more that gets less views, but then will translate into sales?
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's yes.
Yeah. You know, I think it's really interesting. I heard it the other day, which is basically business and entrepreneurship is the highest form of self-development, because it forces you to evolve. So coming off that, how do you think running a business has forced you to level up within yourself? What has it developed within you?
Everything. What has it not developed is another question, but business, like the thing is with me is I grew up in a family business, so for as long as I could remember, I was like going like with my dad to the family business. We used to go to the markets, and from as like literally like as young as 5. As young as 5, and these are all like full grown men. Mind you, it's like the most aggressive environment ever. But business, negotiation, cash, sales, the way they negotiate. I saw it from 5 years old. Like my dad used to make me sit there, and because it was like the flower market, he used to make me sit there at 5 years old, and I'd have to sell pine cones. Pine cones or small, he would go, like he didn't even realize, he was just wanted me out of his hair to keep me entertained. He wasn't even aware that what he was teaching me. But he'd be like, okay, Chantelle, pine cones or like these flowers, like the shit leftover ones here, you sell them to customers that walk in, and whatever you get, you keep. And I'm like 5, I'm Phil's daughter, and I'm batting my eyelids, please buy my pine cones and that. But I'm doing sales, I'm doing negotiation.
It's ingraining in you that whole mentality.
I'm talking to grown men at 5 years old and having to communicate with them. So I'm learning skills that have carried me through life now, and I'm like, I look back, I'm like, okay, that's why I am the way I am now, is because I learned it as young as 5. But so I was exposed to it really young, and then business from there, like then I worked in real estate when I was 14, and then all I could see was, I guess, my own business, but that was coming from a family business where my parents ran their own business. So it was like, I understood. I didn't have fear around it because I'd grown up around it.
Yeah, sure.
And then, but it taught me so much, like business, exactly that thing of having to adapt. No matter what comes in front of me, I can find a solution because I've had to time and time and time. You get conditioned.
Yeah, definitely.
That is what I would say, is that it's conditioned me to find solutions, because when you run a business, there's no, like if it's not your business, like, oh, it's not my problem, I don't have to find a solution. Like, I can just hand it to the boss, the CEO, the next one. I am at the top,
Yeah,
so
you became
I'm the one who
solution-oriented.
has to find the solution
Yeah.
to the problem or work through it. And that has built such a mentality for me.
Yeah.
What about yourself? What has business done for you?
I think, it's forced me to evolve in like a lot of ways, particularly just understanding that you need to communicate value, you need to talk to people. I'm a big believer in the whole thing of like a fish with its mouth closed doesn't get fed type thing.
Yeah.
I think like I've always been very good with people, talking to people. Similar sort of thing in the sense of like a little bit different, but like my dad would always take me, my dad like owns like a tilt tray business. He would always take me in the tilt tray and I used to watch him and see how like if anyone's watching this, they've met my dad, they know exactly what I'm referring to, but he talks to everyone and there's no social anxiety doesn't
apple
exist.
Doesn't fall far from the tree, right?
Honestly, like I used to see dad at like, honestly, like 5, 6, 7 years old, whatever, in the truck with him. He just pulls up to someone randomly and says, hey mate, is that car for sale? Or you need a tow or boom, boom, boom. He just had this assumed connection with people. And I was like...
It's kind of funny that we think so much into it, but they would just do it like so subconsciously.
Yeah, literally.
He taught like dad, mum, like they taught me everything, but it wasn't like intentional.
Well, we modeled them, literally.
Yeah.
They were our exemplars. Like we would look at them and be like, that's what's normal, we're going to become that. And that's what happens. That's why it's important, when I'm not a parent, so I'm just speaking from a place of theory, but they model.
From our parents, what they've modeled to us.
Yeah, but like definitely learning that off dad and learning that the more you talk to people and the more you open your mouth in the sense of business, the more you're going to get fed or the more money you're going to make. Dad would talk to everyone, call everyone, boom, 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 always talking. And I'd always see how these deals would just manifest and like create for him. And he would literally like, Dad's like, watch this, I'll make $500. And he'd just pick up his phone, just call someone and sell some random shit. I was like, how? And
because he had
literally gift of the gab.
Yeah, like, but also that belief. There was no... Again, the internal model goes to external reality. So he's like, $500, yeah, boom, straight in the phone. Like, my dad's the same. Like, not with, he just will, he's like, Chantelle, you gotta be like this, you gotta do that, you gotta, the way you speak, the way you, he's like, watch this. And he'd come back, because he'd learn, like, for him, the motivation was to provide for his family. Yeah. So, he had to learn like the way that he interacts and talks to people willing to give back to him.
Yeah, of course.
And that's exactly, because it's respect. It's a level of respect, right? Your dad's well respected because he gives that back.
Yeah. And I think we take a lot from our parents, and also like the real early, as honestly, as young as I can remember, my relationship to money was like, I can sell things. Like I remember I used to the first thing I ever did to make money was I think I was like 11 years old or maybe even 10. My dad had dropped me off at people's houses and I would have like window washing gear and I would find these people on Facebook Marketplace and stuff and I would say, I'll wash your windows. It was actually pretty pricey now that I think back for an 11-year-old. It was $15 a window for the outside and in.
You're doing well.
Yeah, and I would wash people's windows and I'd mow their lawns, and then like I even did stuff like I got all these old tires and I painted them and I sold them to a daycare. And then when I got a little bit older, I was on Facebook Marketplace. I got Dad to pick me up like old furniture and stuff. I'd just wash the furniture, clean it up a little bit, maybe do some light repairs, and then I'd resell it on Facebook Marketplace. So the whole game of like entrepreneurship, even at a very young age, was instilled to me, understanding I can sell things to people. I can create a form of value, and in exchange for that I get money. I don't need to trade time for money. There's a different way to make money.
Yeah, I guess we both learned that really, really young, like looking at both our stories. You can see it from like our childhood, and now it reflects.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I guess when people grow up with parents who, say for example, both work 9 to 5 and struggle to pay the mortgage, and they've never really been, I guess, exposed to the ideologies behind abundance, because there's always this we have to go to work, we have to pay bills, there's financial stress. And don't get me wrong, my parents still had so much financial stress, but I just saw them overcome everything. And there was, Dad just, they'd lose crops and thousands of dollars down the drain, but Dad'd be like, it's all right, got to spend money to make money. And he'd just go, he's lost 20,000, he's gone and spent another 20,000. Mum's like, Bill, you're always spending money. But his mentality towards you're going to spend it to make it. And he would just rinse and repeat that cycle. No matter how many setbacks that came upon my parents, they both overcame it with such strength and adversity that's what I saw. I saw no matter what comes in my path, you just, whatever, you lose money, whatever, move on.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't, again, it's not holding on to this thing around sitting there and being like, oh, I should have made that and I didn't make that, so I'm just going to throw in the towel now. It's like, no, we'll just move on. Next. And tenfold into success.
Yeah, that's really true. Like with the parents, you know, we literally become what we model. We saw our parents, both of us, making money, being entrepreneurial, bouncing back from setbacks, and just in general being resourceful, being able to generate money from nothing in the sense of like you provide value in exchange monetary gain. That's good. Life
rewards you.
Yeah. And it does explain a lot of why we are how we are. I honestly, in some senses, I feel like you're a female me. Like we're very aligned.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah.
But yeah, if you were to, you know, we've talked a lot about social media and marketing and that sort of stuff, and we both know the importance of that. But if you were to speak to someone who maybe isn't as accustomed into that world, what would you say to them in terms of like why it's so important to be on social media and to actually put money into marketing?
Again, marketing is the engine to your business. So I think people should be doing some form of marketing. Flyers, billboards, radio, it's all dead money. People are not there. People are on their phones. So you need to be doing some form of marketing, whether you're doing it yourself or you hire someone to do it, whether you're working with me or working with other people. I think just start and don't be afraid to start. If it's a cafe, just jump on TikTok and see what other people are doing and just start filming some of the trends. Or, you know, if you don't want to be on camera, that's fine. Like you have staff, get them to just get the young Gen Z, whoever is in your business right now that is Gen Z, please tell them, do the TikTok, do the Instagram. They will have no problem. They all love it. So just get them to do it, you know.
Yeah, sure.
And you said that time and time business. If you start there and then, you know, you get to a position in your business, you can hire someone, hey, how do I take this, now there's social media, we have some sort of interaction, how do we take it to the next level? Do you start adding layers onto that, paid marketing, more strategy onto it? It's all about, reaching more people. Like you see those, you go on TikTok right now and you see cafes and restaurants who, you know, influencer marketing is another major thing. Like even if you just do the marketing yourself and then you just get an influencer to once a month, that might cost you $500, $2,000 depending on the influencer, but the return for that, rather than going and paying someone else to do marketing, just get an influencer in. Like, you know, whatever you can do. If you don't want to spend, you know, work out your budget. What's your marketing budget? Because any big business brand company has a marketing budget.
Yeah.
If you are running a business and you do not have a marketing budget, you need to reassess it.
Yeah, 100%.
You really need to reassess it. So that would be my advice. If someone wants to improve themselves in their personal life or in general, what would you suggest?
I would suggest that they assess where they want to be, where they are now, and then work out the difference. Like once someone can work out where they're at now, where they want to be, and then sort of identify the things holding them back in between, that'll usually give you a pretty solid path moving forward. You know, like let's say someone wants to, just use the example of getting in shape. Let's say someone wants to get in shape and they're currently obese. Okay, well, this is where I'm at, this is where I want to be. What are the obstacles holding me back? Maybe a lack of knowledge of the gym, maybe, you know, I don't eat right, I don't this. Once you can identify the problems that you need to work on, then you can provide solutions to those problems and get closer to the goal. But on a larger scale, you know, outside of the example of the fitness, just identify where you're at, identify what is actually holding you back from being who you want to be. In a lot of cases, it is the self-destructive habits, you know, the drinking, drugs, porn, gambling, gaming, smoking, that stuff. And then also look within a little bit, like have a bit of introspection and say, hey, I actually do have self-doubt here. I do lack confidence. I don't really feel like I can talk to people. Identify your weaknesses. I know it doesn't feel good to like look at our weaknesses sometimes. We want to just think about the strengths and whatever. But if you can look at your weaknesses from the perspective of I'm going to solve this problem, you're ahead of the game and you're going to be able to get to where you want to get to. Also, if you feel the need to work with someone, I would advise it. I would actually, even if you don't feel the need, I would just work with someone regardless. I think, yes, we can do things by ourselves, of course. You know, we can solve most problems alone. But it's a game of what do you want to put into it? Do you want to spend 10 years trying to solve this problem? Or do you just want to pay someone a couple $1,000s and they will help you solve it in 6 weeks, right? I'm a big believer in Alex Hormozy said this, there's a thing called an ignorance debt, right? And now an ignorance debt is basically, we're all born with it. An ignorance debt is, we're born with this thing where we don't know anything about anything. Now, as we progress in life, we pay down this ignorance debt. Now, for example, right now, I have a massive ignorance debt on NASCAR sprint cars, or whatever they're called. I don't even know the name of them, right? NASCAR race cars. I don't know shit about NASCAR race cars. Now, if I needed to, for whatever reason, learn about those cars, I could pay down my ignorance debt with one of two things, time or money, okay? Now, as we mentioned before, time is much more valuable than money. I would much rather, you know, give someone $5,000 to say, bro, teach me everything there is about NASCAR. I want to become an expert, rather than spend 10 years studying and reading 5,000 books on it. And yeah, so to tie it back into my original point, you more than likely have an ignorance debt around the problems that are preventing you from being who you want to be. You need to pay that down. Pay it down with time if you want, if you've got 10 years to put into the thing, or just give someone money who has already paid their ignorance debt down, pay an expert in the field, and learn from them. Leverage their wisdom and let them teach you what took them 10 years to learn in 6 weeks, and you can get the results.
That's what I did with my marketing, rather than going and studying it for X amount of years. Like, I just learnt from the best of the best.
Yeah.
Within a month, I'd learnt more than most people learn in 3-4 years.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's because I was like, I'm going to find, well, she basically came to me, but through my networks and connections, right? I had the most amazing mentor who was doing amazing, and she told me everything she knew. And like, that wasn't even about money. Like, I just like, no, I'm going to sit with you, teach you everything you know. And then here I am 3 years later, still running the same business and, you know, successful with the business. Now I have 4 people underneath me. Yeah, 100%. You know?
It's important to be able to actually like see the power in hiring people, and like like just the whole mentorship thing. I'm the exact same. If I've got a problem and I need to solve it, I'm like, I could work it out, but I'd rather pay someone to help me work it out. An example of this is like recently I literally spent like a fair amount of money on a business coach. I was like, I want to learn and improve like my business side of things.
So a lot of, you've got to find the right business coach.
That's right, yeah.
There's a lot of like, business, again, taking advice from people who don't run businesses. You want to make sure it's a good business coach.
But yeah, like you just invest in people who are going to help you get to your desired destination quicker. And you know, whether it be your social media game that you want to improve, or whether it be something you want to overcome within yourself, like work with the right people. On that note, if the viewers want to find you, connect with you, have a conversation, maybe even work with you, where can they do that? Where can they find you online?
My personal page is Chantelle Miscuso. And then...
How do you spell that, Chantelle? Yeah. Because that is a bit of a tricky one.
People, I mean, put it in the description, but Chantee and Miscuso, Miscuso.
Yep.
And Amore Media for my business page.
Cool.
Which I don't really post on there, but you can contact me through that.
Cool. Yeah. And if people want to find me, connect with me, maybe even potentially work with me, my Instagram is Ricky Gauci, RICKY space GAUCI. I'm waiting for the day where I miss the spelling. That'll be fucking interesting. But yeah, feel free to reach out, feel free to connect. I'm more than happy to have a conversation, and hope you guys got value from this conversation. Thank you for jumping on.
Thank you, Ricky.